Unexpected talent. Maya Chen stared out the window of the shuttle, her heart racing with a mixture of excitement and nervousness. The curved blue horizon of Earth slowly shrank behind them as they ascended towards the looming shape of the Galactic Union's orbital research station. Even after 5 years of open contact with alien civilizations, the sight of the massive structure still filled her with awe. As a sophomore at the newly established Terran Galactic University, Maya had jumped at the chance to join this field trip to the alien research facility. It was a rare opportunity for human students to get hands-on experience with advanced extraterrestrial technology. Though she'd always had a knack for Earth-based computers and robotics, Maya knew the alien tech was leagues beyond anything humanity had developed. The shuttle docked with a gentle thud, and Maya filed out with her classmates. They were greeted by their alien guide, a tall, willowy being with iridescent skin and large, multifaceted eyes. The alien introduced itself as Zixara, a lead researcher at the facility. "Welcome, young humans." Zixara's melodious voice resonated in their minds through the neural translators. "Today, you will observe some of our latest advancements in propulsion technology. Please, follow me." As they walked through the sleek, curving corridors of the station, Maya couldn't help but run her fingers along the smooth, almost organic-looking walls. There was something about the technology here that felt different, alive, almost. They entered a vast chamber dominated by what appeared to be a small spacecraft. Its hull shimmered with an otherworldly energy, pulsing gently like a heartbeat. "This," Zixara announced with pride, "is our latest prototype, the Stellar Whisper. It utilizes a form of consciousness-guided propulsion that allows for instantaneous travel across vast distances." Maya's classmates oohed and awed, but she found herself drawn to the ship itself. There was a faint humming in her mind, almost like a song she couldn't quite remember. Zixara continued, "Of course, it requires years of training to even begin to interface with such a vessel. The neural pathways needed are incredibly complex and—" The alien's words were cut short as Maya, almost in a trance, stepped forward and placed her hand on the ship's hull. Instantly, the humming in her mind crescendoed into a symphony of information. The ship's systems unfurled in her mind like a blooming flower, each petal a new aspect of its functioning that she somehow innately understood. I can feel it," Maya whispered, her eyes wide with wonder. "It's beautiful." The room fell silent. Zixara stared at Maya, all 4 of its eyes blinking rapidly in what she would later learn was extreme shock. "Impossible," the alien murmured. "How are you? Please, step away from the vessel immediately." But Maya couldn't. The connection was too strong, too intoxicating. With barely a thought, she found the ship's entrance hatch and it opened for her, inviting her inside. "Maya, what are you doing?" her professor called out, a note of panic in his voice. "Get back here this instant." But it was too late. Maya was already climbing into the cockpit, her hands moving over the controls with a surety that belied her complete lack of training. The ship hummed to life around her, systems activating in perfect harmony. Outside, alarms began to blare. Zixara was shouting something about security protocols and containment fields. Maya knew she should be scared, knew she should stop. But the ship, it felt right. Like coming home after a long journey. With a thought, the Stellar Whisper lifted off the ground, its energy field shimmering brightly. Maya felt a moment of vertigo as the ship's consciousness merged with her own, showing her the vastness of space and the infinite possibilities that lay before them. Then, in a flash of light that momentarily blinded everyone in the chamber, the ship vanished, taking Maya with it. In the stunned silence that followed, Zixara turned to the equally shocked human professor. "In all my cycles," the alien said slowly, "I have never seen anything like that. Your student, she shouldn't have been able to do that. It should not be possible." The professor, still staring at the spot where the ship had been, could only shake his head. "That's Maya for you," he said weakly. "Always full of surprises." Light years away, Maya found herself streaking through the cosmos, the beauty of the universe laid out before her like a glittering tapestry. She knew she should be terrified, knew she was in way over her head. But as the stars rushed by and alien worlds beckoned, she felt only one thing: an overwhelming sense of belonging. This, she realized with a mixture of excitement and trepidation, was only the beginning. As news of Maya's unprecedented feat spread like wildfire through both human and alien communication channels, the repercussions began to ripple outward. On Earth, government officials and military leaders scrambled to understand the implications of a human who could apparently interface with and control the most advanced alien technology with ease. In the Galactic Union, the various alien species that made up the interstellar community reacted with a mixture of awe, fear, and intense curiosity. Some saw Maya's abilities as a sign that humans were far more than the primitive species they had initially appeared to be. Others worried that this could upset the delicate balance of power that had existed for millennia. Meanwhile, Maya found herself on an unintended adventure of cosmic proportions. The stellar whisper responded to her thoughts with an eagerness that both thrilled and terrified her. Stars and planets whizzed by as she struggled to understand the vast amount of information flooding her mind. "Okay, Maya," she muttered to herself, trying to stay calm. "You've really done it this time. Now how do we get back?" As if in response to her question, a holographic display materialized before her, showing her current position in the galaxy. She was shocked to see just how far she had traveled in what felt like mere moments. The Earth was nothing but a tiny speck, countless light years behind her. Panic began to set in, but the ship's consciousness gently nudged her, conveying a sense of reassurance. Maya took a deep breath, forcing herself to focus. She could do this. Somehow, she understood this ship better than any technology she'd ever encountered. With a thought, she brought the stellar whisper to a stop, hanging in space above a breathtaking nebula that painted the void in swirls of purple and blue. The sight momentarily distracted her from her predicament, filling her with a sense of wonder. "This is incredible," she breathed, drinking in the cosmic spectacle before her. "But I can't stay out here forever. I need to get back before I cause an interstellar incident, if I haven't already." As Maya pondered her next move, she became aware of a new presence in her mind. It wasn't the ship this time, but something else, something ancient and vast. A voice, neither male nor female, human nor alien, whispered in the depths of her consciousness. At last, it said, its tone a mixture of relief and excitement. "After so long, one of you has awakened." Maya's eyes widened. "Who? What are you?" "We are the precursors," the voice replied. "The ones who seeded your world, and many others, with the potential for greatness. And you, Maya Chen, are the first in eons to unlock that potential." The implications of those words hit Maya like a physical blow. Her mind reeled as she tried to process what she was being told. "Are you saying humans are descended from some ancient alien race?" "In a manner of speaking," the voice confirmed. "But that is a vast oversimplification. There is much you need to learn, and time grows short. Others will have sensed your awakening, and not all of them will be pleased." As if on cue, alarms began to blare throughout the ship. Maya's attention snapped back to the holographic display, where several large vessels had appeared, rapidly approaching her position. "Oh no," she muttered, recognizing the ships from her studies. "They belong to the Jethar, a notoriously aggressive species known for their mistrust of other races and their powerful military." The voice of the precursors spoke again, urgent now. "You must flee, young one. You are not yet ready to face such a threat. Return to your home. Prepare yourself. The journey ahead will not be easy, but it is necessary. The fate of many worlds may rest on your shoulders." Maya's mind was spinning, overwhelmed by everything that was happening. But as the Jethar ships drew closer, she knew she had no choice. With a thought, she engaged the Stellar Whisper's propulsion system, plotting a course back to Earth. As the ship leaped into faster-than-light travel, leaving the Jethar far behind, Maya couldn't shake the feeling that her life had just changed irrevocably. She was no longer just a college student with a knack for technology. She was something more, something that could change the course of galactic history. What have I gotten myself into? She wondered aloud as the stellar whisper carried her home, the words of the precursors echoing in her mind. Whatever lay ahead, she knew one thing for certain. Nothing would ever be the same again. Rising tensions. The return of Maya Chen to Earth was anything but quiet. As the stellar whisper materialized in low orbit, it was immediately surrounded by a swarm of human and alien vessels. The ship's sensors picked up a cacophony of transmissions, ranging from demands for her immediate surrender to pleas for communication. Maya took a deep breath, steeling herself for what was to come. "Well," she muttered, "time to face the music." With careful precision, she guided the ship towards the Terran Galactic University's landing pad, where a crowd had already gathered. As the stellar whisper touched down, Maya could see a mix of familiar and alien faces peering at her through the cockpit window. Some looked angry, others awed, but all wore expressions of intense curiosity. The ship's hatch opened with a soft hiss, and Maya stepped out, her legs shaky after her unexpected cosmic journey. Immediately, she was engulfed in a sea of voices and flashing cameras. "Maya Chen," a human reporter shouted, thrusting a microphone towards her. "How did you manage to pilot an alien vessel without any training?" Before she could answer, a tall, stern-looking alien pushed through the crowd. Maya recognized the species as Volcrin, known for their logical minds and position as mediators in the Galactic Union. "Miss Chen," the Volcrin said, its voice calm but carrying an undercurrent of urgency, "I am Ambassador Thexel. Your actions have caused quite a stir in the galactic community. We must speak immediately." Maya nodded, relieved to have a reason to escape the press. As Thexel led her away, she caught sight of her parents in the crowd, their faces a mixture of pride, concern, and utter bewilderment. She managed a small wave before being ushered into a nearby building. Inside, Maya found herself in a room filled with holographic displays, each showing different news feeds from across the galaxy. She was shocked to see her own face plastered across many of them, alongside headlines like "Human Prodigy Shocks Galactic Community" and "Is Earth Hiding Advanced Technology?" Thexel gestured for Maya to sit. "Miss Chen, I hope you understand the gravity of the situation. Your ability to interface with and control one of the most advanced ships in the known galaxy has unsettled many." Maya swallowed hard. I didn't mean to cause any trouble. It just happened. I touched the ship and suddenly I could understand it, control it. It was like it was a part of me." The Volcrin's expression remained neutral, but Maya sensed a flicker of surprise. Fascinating, and deeply concerning. There are those who believe your abilities represent a threat to the current balance of power in the galaxy. A threat? Maya's eyes widened. But I'm just a student. I don't want to upset any balance or cause trouble. I just want to understand what's happening to me. Thexel's features softened slightly. "I believe you, Miss Chen, but others may not be so understanding. The Jethar, for instance, are demanding that you be turned over to them for examination." A chill ran down Maya's spine as she remembered the ships that had pursued her in deep space. "The precursors warned me about them," she murmured, almost to herself. "Precursors." Thexel leaned forward, all four of its eyes focusing intently on Maya. "You encountered the precursors." Realizing she had said too much, Maya hesitated. But as she looked into Thexel's eyes, she saw not threat or suspicion, but a genuine desire to understand. With a deep breath, she began to recount her experience. The voice in her mind, the warnings of awakening and impending danger. As she spoke, Thexel's expression grew increasingly troubled. When she finished, the alien sat back, lost in thought for a long moment. "Miss Chen," Thexel finally said, "what you've told me, if it's true, It could change everything we thought we knew about the galaxy and humanity's place in it. But it also puts you in grave danger. There are forces that would stop at nothing to gain control of the power you seem to possess. Maya felt a weight settling on her shoulders. What should I do? Thexel stood, pacing the room. For now, we must keep you safe while we determine the full extent of your abilities. I will arrange for you to be taken to a secure facility where... The alien's words were cut short by a sudden commotion outside. The door burst open, and a group of heavily armed humans stormed in, led by a gruff-looking man in a military uniform. Maya Chen, the man barked, by order of the Terran Defense Force, you're coming with us. Your abilities are now a matter of planetary security. Thexel stepped between Maya and the soldiers. This is a violation of Galactic Union law. Miss Chen is under my protection as a representative of... With all due respect, Ambassador, the military man cut in. This is an internal Terran matter. Stand aside. As tensions in the room rose, Maya felt a familiar humming in her mind. The stellar whisper, still parked outside, was calling to her. In that moment, she made a decision. I'm sorry, she said, backing towards the window. But I can't go with either of you, not until I understand what's happening to me. Before anyone could react, Maya leaped out the window. As she fell, she reached out with her mind, connecting with the stellar whisper. The ship responded instantly, swooping in to catch her midair. As Maya settled into the cockpit, alarms began blaring across the campus. She knew she had only moments before every ship in the vicinity would be after her. I hope I'm not making a huge mistake, she muttered as the stellar whisper shot upwards, breaking through the atmosphere in seconds. As Earth shrank behind her, Maya set a course for deep space, guided by an instinct she didn't fully understand. Somewhere out there were answers. About her abilities, about humanity's true history, and about the role she was destined to play in the galaxy's future. The chase was on, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Maya Chen, once an ordinary college student, now found herself at the center of a cosmic storm that threatened to reshape the very fabric of galactic society. As she disappeared into the starry void, leaving chaos in her wake, Maya couldn't help but wonder, was she running towards her destiny, or away from it? Only time would tell. Trial by fire. The vastness of space stretched out before Maya, a glittering canvas of stars and distant galaxies. For the past week, she had been jumping from system to trial by fire. The vastness of space stretched out before Maya, a glittering canvas of stars and distant galaxies. For the past week, she had been jumping from system to system, always staying one step ahead of her pursuers. The stellar whisper had become her sanctuary, its consciousness, a constant, comforting presence in her mind. But Maya knew she couldn't run forever. Sooner or later, she would have to face the consequences of her actions and the reality of her newfound abilities. As she sat in the cockpit, absently tracing constellations she didn't recognize, a familiar voice echoed in her mind. The time for hiding is over, young one, the precursor said. You must face your trial. Maya sighed, a mixture of relief and apprehension washing over her. I was wondering when you'd show up again. What trial? What am I supposed to do? There is a place, the voice continued, a nexus of ancient power. It is there that you will truly awaken to your potential. But be warned, others seek this power as well. You must reach it first. Suddenly, a stream of information flooded Maya's mind. Coordinates, star maps, and fragments of an alien language she somehow understood. She saw a planet, shrouded in swirling golden clouds, orbiting a dying red giant. Okay, Maya said, inputting the coordinates into the Stellar Whisper's navigation system. I guess we're doing this. As the ship prepared to jump, alarms suddenly blared. A massive vessel had appeared on the sensors, bearing down on her position fast. Maya's heart sank as she recognized the configuration. It was a Jethar dreadnought. No time like the present, she muttered, engaging the drive. The stars blurred around her as the stellar whisper leaped into faster-than-light travel, the Jethar ship in hot pursuit. What followed was a harrowing chase through the cosmos. Maya pushed the stellar whisper to its limits, weaving through asteroid fields and skimming the edges of black holes. The ship responded to her every thought, moving with a grace and precision that seemed impossible. But the Jethar were relentless. Every time Maya thought she'd lost them, they would reappear, weapons charging. She could feel the ship's energy reserves depleting with each evasive maneuver. Finally, after what felt like hours, the golden planet came into view. Maya's relief was short-lived, however, as she saw not one, but 3 Jethar ships waiting in orbit. They knew, she realized with a sinking feeling. They knew I'd come here. As the Jethar ships moved to surround her, Maya felt a surge of determination. She hadn't come this far to fail now. Closing her eyes, she reached out with her mind, connecting not just with the stellar whisper, but with the very fabric of space around her. To her amazement, she could feel the gravitational fields, the solar winds, the ebb and flow of cosmic radiation. And more than that, she could manipulate them. With a thought, Maya created a gravitational eddy, sending one of the Jethar ships spinning off course. Another she blinded with a focused burst of solar radiation. But the dreadnought that had been pursuing her fired its main cannon, a beam of energy so powerful it threatened to tear the stellar whisper apart. In that moment of desperation, Maya did something she didn't know she could do. She reached out and touched the weapon's energy itself, redirecting it around her ship like water around a stone. The beam curved, striking one of the other Jethar vessels instead. The explosion lit up space like a newborn star. In the confusion that followed, Maya dove for the planet's surface, pushing through the golden clouds and towards a massive structure that rose from the landscape below. A pyramid of impossible proportions, its surface etched with glowing symbols. As the stellar whisper touched down at the base of the pyramid, Maya felt a pull she couldn't resist. She exited the ship, her feet touching alien soil for the first time. The air was thick and heavy, filled with particles that glittered like stardust. "You have arrived," the precursor voice said, louder now, seeming to come from the pyramid itself. "But your trial is not over. The Jethar will not give up so easily. You must reach the heart of the pyramid and claim your birthright." As if on cue, the sound of ships entering the atmosphere echoed across the landscape. The Jethar were coming. Maya ran towards the pyramid, her heart pounding. As she approached, a doorway appeared, symbols lighting up in response to her presence. She ducked inside just as energy weapons began to pepper the ground where she had stood moments before. The interior of the pyramid was a maze of corridors and chambers, each filled with technology so advanced it bordered on magic. Maya navigated by instinct, her mind connecting with the ancient systems around her. Behind her, she could hear the Jethar soldiers entering the pyramid. Their harsh voices echoed off the walls, getting closer with each passing moment. Finally, Maya reached the central chamber. In the middle stood a pillar of light, pulsing with energy. As she approached, images began to flash through her mind. The history of the precursors, the seeding of countless worlds, the hidden potential within humanity. "This is your moment," the precursor voice said. "Embrace your destiny." Maya stepped into the light. Power surged through her, unlocking abilities she never knew she had. She could feel the entire planet beneath her feet, the stars above, the very currents of the universe. When the Jethar soldiers burst into the chamber, weapons raised, they found Maya hovering above the ground, her eyes glowing with cosmic energy. With a wave of her hand, their weapons crumbled to dust. "This planet is under my protection," Maya said, her voice resonating with newfound authority. "Leave now and tell your people what you've seen here. The age of hiding is over. Humanity is ready to take its place among the stars." Faced with power they couldn't comprehend, the Jethar retreated. As their ships disappeared into the golden clouds above, Maya sank to her knees, overwhelmed by the knowledge and power now coursing through her. She knew that this was only the beginning. The galaxy was about to change, and she would be at the center of it all. With a deep breath, Maya stood, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The trial was over. The real journey was just beginning. Galactic repercussions. News of Maya Chen's extraordinary display of power spread across the galaxy like a shockwave. The defeat of the Jithar, a species known for their military might, by a single human was unprecedented. It sent ripples of fear, awe, and speculation through every corner of the Galactic Union. On Earth, reactions were mixed. Some hailed Maya as a hero, a symbol of humanity's potential. Others feared her, seeing her abilities as a threat to the established order. Governments around the world scrambled to formulate responses, unsure whether to celebrate Maya or brand her a danger to planetary security. Meanwhile, Maya found herself grappling with her newfound role. The power she had accessed in the pyramid was beyond anything she had imagined. She could sense the ebb and flow of cosmic energies, tap into the fundamental forces of the universe. But with this power came an enormous responsibility. The galaxy stands at a crossroads. The precursor voice explained as Maya sat in meditation atop the golden pyramid. For too long, the elder races have stagnated, clinging to their power and refusing to evolve. Humanity, with its potential unlocked, can bring balance and usher in a new era of growth and discovery. Maya opened her eyes, gazing out at the alien landscape before her. But why me? I was just a college student. How am I supposed to change the entire galaxy? You were chosen because of your unique qualities. Your curiosity, your adaptability, your capacity for empathy. These are the traits that will be needed in the times to come. As Maya pondered these words, the stellar whisper sent her an alert. A transmission was coming in, from Earth. With a thought, Maya projected a holographic screen before her. The face that appeared belonged to Ambassador Thexel. "Miss Chen," the Volcrin said, its normally calm demeanor tinged with urgency. "I hope this message finds you well. Your actions have changed everything. The Galactic Union is in turmoil. Many fear what your abilities mean for the balance of power. Others see hope for a new future. We need you to return, to explain, to help us understand. Please, the fate of multiple civilizations may depend on it." Maya sighed, feeling the weight of expectation settling on her shoulders. She knew she couldn't hide on this planet forever. It was time to face the consequences of her awakening. "I understand," she replied. "I'll return to Earth immediately." As the stellar whisper broke through the golden clouds of the planet's atmosphere, Maya steeled herself for what was to come. The ship's sensors detected multiple vessels in orbit, not just human and Volcrin, but representatives from dozens of alien species. Maya guided the stellar whisper towards the Terran Galactic University, where her journey had begun what felt like a lifetime ago. As she descended, she saw the campus had been transformed into a hub of diplomatic activity. Makeshift structures house representatives from across the galaxy, all eager to catch a glimpse of the human who had defied expectations. The moment the ship touched down, Maya was surrounded. Cameras flashed. Voices called out in a cacophony of languages. But the crowd parted as a familiar figure approached. Ambassador Thexel, flanked by human officials and alien dignitaries. "Welcome back, Miss Chen," Thexel said, its voice carrying across the suddenly hushed gathering. "I believe you have quite a story to tell us." Over the next several days, Maya found herself at the center of an unprecedented galactic summit. She recounted her experiences, the accidental activation of the stellar whisper, her encounter with the precursors, the battle with the Jethar, and her awakening in the ancient pyramid. As she spoke, Maya could sense the mix of emotions in the room. Fear, wonder, skepticism, hope, all swirled together in a complex tapestry of galactic politics. The precursors, an elderly Volcrin scholar mused, "We thought them nothing more than legend. And yet here stands living proof of their legacy." A human general leaned forward, his eyes narrow with suspicion. "And these powers of yours, Miss Chen. How do we know you won't use them against Earth? How can we trust that you won't become a threat? Maya met his gaze steadily. Because that's not why I was given these abilities. The precursors chose humanity not to dominate, but to bring balance, to help the galaxy move forward, to evolve. I'm not here to rule or conquer. I'm here to help us all reach our full potential. Her words sparked intense debate. Some species saw the awakening of humanity's potential as a threat to their own power. Others recognized the opportunity for growth and change. As the summit progressed, Maya found herself becoming not just a curiosity, but a mediator. Her unique perspective, part human, part cosmic, allowed her to bridge gaps between species that had been at odds for millennia. One by one, agreements were reached. The Zethar, humbled by their defeat, agreed to open diplomatic channels they had long kept closed. The elder races of the Galactic Union, spurred by the revelation of the Precursor's plan, began to re-examine their own stagnant cultures. But not everyone was pleased with these developments. As the summit neared its conclusion, Maya sensed a growing undercurrent of discontent. There were those who saw the changing balance of power as a threat to their way of life. Late one night, as Maya walked alone through the campus grounds, she felt a sudden shift in the energies around her. Acting on instinct, she threw up a barrier of pure force just as a beam of energy sliced through the air where she had been standing. Assassins emerged from the shadows, a mix of species, united in their fear of change. Maya found herself in the fight of her life, using her newfound abilities to deflect energy weapons and incapacitate her attackers. As the last assassin fell, Maya stood in the center of the carnage, breathing heavily. She realized that this was the true test, not of her power, but of her wisdom. How she handled this attack would set the tone for humanity's emergence onto the galactic stage. Instead of retaliating, Maya reached out with her mind, touching the consciousness of her would-be killers. She showed them visions of a united galaxy, of species working together to unlock the mysteries of the universe. She offered understanding instead of vengeance. The next day, as news of the assassination attempt spread, Maya addressed the summit. "Last night's attack shows us how far we still have to go," she said, her voice carrying to every corner of the gathering. "But it also shows us why we must push forward. Fear and division have held us back for too long. It's time for a new path, one we walk together." Her words and her actions became a turning point. The summit concluded with the signing of the Terran Accords, a new framework for galactic cooperation that placed Earth and humanity at the center of a bold new era of exploration and discovery. As Maya watched representatives from across the galaxy come together, she felt a sense of both accomplishment and trepidation. This was only the beginning. The real work of guiding humanity, of helping the galaxy evolve, was still to come. But as she looked up at the stars, no longer distant and unreachable, Maya Chen knew one thing for certain. The future was bright and full of possibilities. A new frontier. 5 years had passed since the signing of the Terran Accords, and the galaxy was a changed place. Earth, once a backwater planet on the fringes of galactic society, had become a hub of innovation and diplomacy. The awakening of humanity's latent abilities, triggered by Maya Chen's cosmic encounter, had ushered in an era of unprecedented growth and discovery. Maya stood on the observation deck of Harmony Station, a massive space habitat orbiting Earth. The station served as neutral ground for galactic diplomacy and scientific collaboration. As she gazed out at the stars, Maya reflected on the journey that had brought her, and humanity, to this point. The early days after the summit had been challenging. Some human factions, intoxicated by the promise of cosmic power, had pushed for aggressive expansion. It had taken all of Maya's influence and the support of level-headed leaders to steer humanity towards a path of responsible growth. Now, human ships explored the far reaches of the galaxy, not as conquerors, but as explorers and peacekeepers. The unique adaptability of the human mind, combined with the unlocked potential of their precursor heritage, made them invaluable in solving conflicts and unraveling cosmic mysteries. "Quite a view, isn't it?" a familiar voice said. Maya turned to see Ambassador Thexel approaching, its iridescent scales shimmering in the starlight. The Volcran had become one of her closest allies over the years. "It never gets old," Maya replied with a smile. "Sometimes I still can't believe how far we've come." Thexel nodded, its 4 eyes blinking in sequence. "Your people have surpassed all expectations. Though I must admit, not everyone is pleased with the rate of change." Maya's expression grew serious. She was well aware of the tensions that still simmered beneath the surface of galactic society. The rapid rise of humanity had upset millennia of established power structures. While many embraced the new era of cooperation, others clung desperately to the old ways. "The consortium is growing bolder," Thexel continued, lowering its voice. "Our intelligence suggests they may be planning something drastic." The consortium was a shadowy organization comprised of conservative factions from various species. They saw the new galactic order as a threat to their power and had been working to undermine the Terran Accords since their inception. "Do we know what they're planning?" Maya asked, her mind already reaching out, sensing the currents of energy flowing through the station. Before Thexel could respond, alarms began blaring throughout Harmony Station. Red emergency lights bathed the observation deck in an ominous glow. "Attention all personnel," a computerized voice announced. "Multiple unauthorized vessels approaching. Hostile intent detected. This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill." Maya's eyes widened as she saw a fleet of ships dropping out of faster-than-light travel. Their designs were a mishmash of different species technology, cobbled together into fearsome war machines. "The consortium," Thexel breathed. "They're making their move." Maya's mind raced. Harmony Station was a symbol of the new galactic order. If it fell, the fragile peace they had worked so hard to build could crumble. "We need to evacuate the diplomats," Maya said, already moving towards the exit. "Get everyone to the emergency shelters. I'll coordinate the defense." As Thexel hurried off to organize the evacuation, Maya reached out with her mind. Connecting with the station's systems, she could feel the fear and confusion of the thousands of beings aboard, a chaotic swirl of emotions threatening to overwhelm her.